So, what are these? These are stormwater tanks, and you can see they're actually, well, here, they're actually rather large. They're quite sizable. And they've got holes in them, perforated, to allow water to seep out. So what we did in the designing of these houses is we've got to figure out how much rainwater is not going into the ground because these buildings are here. And then what we do is we take our gutters, tie them into these underground pipes here and here, back over there, and bring it to the backyard. And when we're back there, these tanks are going to go in the ground. They're going to be wrapped in a geotextile fabric. They're going to have gravel around them, gravel beneath them. And all that stormwater that's coming off of this building is going to go into those tanks back there and then slowly leach into the ground. So part of the design process is first figuring out how much water is not going to the ground because of the buildings. Next, we got to figure out how long does it take water in a pit to seep into this ground. So here, I believe it was 21.3, let me see if I get this right, 21.3 inches per minute. So it's less than 24 hours or 48 hours for all that water from our design to seep back into the ground. Then we got to size the whole system to match. So in this case, we're doing, I believe it was 1,900 gallons worth of water between the tanks and the gravel around it, because gravel, you can imagine there's a void around gravel that can hold water as well. And then all of that gets held here and then stored and weighted so that when we have our 100-year storm, or the 1% chance of a storm of that certain magnitude happening, it will all stay on site and not end up in the public system in the street. And the tanks have an inspection port, so you can actually go down and clean it out if you need to. And the tank itself is going to get wrapped in a fabric that allows water through but not dirt. And then the gravel that's going to go around and beneath, that also gets wrapped in that same fabric. So generally it should stay clean, but it does help reduce the potential of flooding happening here, especially since we have this basement set of rooms. We want to make sure as much water is not at the house but is held elsewhere, and we don't want to flood the street system because this is an older town that has a combined system, so both sewer and stormwater are in the same pipe. So if you have that overflowing, you're putting sewage in the streets. And that's just one of the many parts that go into designing and building these new construction homes.